let's get started. So to you. So in the end, meanwhile and nowadays, it's really about getting software developers happy. And all we are currently working on, I'm working on, is a real software development ecosystem. What does it mean? When you are in a big company, and I'm working for Bosch, and there are several others too, in the end, you want to be very fast, you want to be agile, you want to be change some things, you want to develop new stuff, but it kind of feels like the big tanker that's not really moving fast or changing the lines it currently is in. Okay, so in the end, we have a change in the automotive. Coming from the old electronic control units on ECU, with treatment be for the body controller. And since several years, the change is going on in the EE architecture. And that's going from the integration part up to domain centralization, which means that you have a lower number of control units, which are more capable of be faster in that part of developing the software. Up to where we now see vehicle computer up and running, and the next big part will be then vehicle cloud computing, so that you try to bring some of the functions up to the cloud or to the edge computing part. That depends how fast we go.
Let's continue. So what we also saw, the software developers, they had and still have up until today, they have trouble with the infrastructure. And there's a lot of friction of getting the tools they want, the tools they need. The processes are feel like they are chained to something like that. And there are a lot of island solutions. So someone builds a solution for a single problem, and it's not possible to reuse it from any other department. And we are now really need a transition in order to really get agile and to really help the software developers inside and outside of Bosch. Next slide, please. So in the end, after that, we took a decision that we want to build a platform. And in the end, and we'll come to that later, what platform means, it should provide a native software development environment, of course, with continuous X. It should have the dashboard. It should be open and modular with extensible APIs. So it's no black box and it's no monolith that you can take or leave. It should contain base services which you need. It should be able to allow to bring your own services which you have. And the most important thing, it should offer reusage, multi-party development, and a 24/7 support. So that's the main part of a platform as a service, which then in the end allows someone else to build a software or solution as a service. As that, the platform should not be there to prescribe the tools or the workflows, so how the guys would work, but should help to enable that. Coming from the automotive part, we want to also have that process-wise, like ASPICE, ASIL-D, ISO 26262. So everything that's there, most of the stuff the platform should take care about. What does it mean? Please, next slide. So in the end, we really take also our UX designers into that play because we want to build a desirable solution, so that one the customer really needs. And that doesn't not only mean fancy graphics, fancy stuff, so but really from the user perspective, a really desirable part. Of course, also it should be feasible to our strengths, which we have. As Bosch, we have the big advantage that we're not only automotive, but we also have the industry guys, which are there like smart home or e-bike. And we have a lot of history in really maintaining services in the industrial part. So bringing that together, there should be, of course, a profitable solution, and it should have a sustainable business model. Next, please. And I think you can hit it 3 times. The OEM wants to increase the speed which they now have and need in order to really develop and release new software. They also want to reduce the cost and gain the flexibility. And that is the most important part, because we will see the whole software part breaking up and a real develop together now happens. So it's not a closed part that Bosch develops on its own, or OEM or T1 develops on its own, and someone brings it then together. Now it's really starting that whole development teams from different companies work together on one software. And that is new to the automotive business. Next slide, please. So we bring in two worlds. The left world is really the automotive part. So we have our business goals from the OEMs or from our side. We have our process conformity, that is ASPICE and several others, which leads to real defined process methods and tools. So the software developer is not allowed to just decide which tools you want to use. On the other side, we get the new development methods. We get the new software developers, which are used to just use any kind of tool they want and they need in order to develop some software. So bringing those parts together, the automotive process with the IT methods and tools, that's what is really currently not a technical problem, but is a problem of the mind and of the mindset mainly. Next slide, please. What does it mean when we talk about, or when I talk about features or something like that? Let's take a look. We have a proof of concept for linking the whole system end to end. Think about you want to develop a software that enables the car to recognize road signs. So you start developing that software. You need some tools for that. You need some processes for that. You start developing that. You use AI training. You use different other methods in order to train your AI algorithm. You use software in the loop, so closed simulation, for example, with an Unreal Engine to simulate what you have. And once you are done, you want to try it out in the vehicle. So then you give it or hand it over to someone, so to an over-the-air update solution, which brings it into the vehicle, which really runs the software of this feature, and which checks and learns if it really recognizes those road signs. Those learned data get back to the cloud and is handed over to you as a developer again, so you can see which road signs were missing and what do you need to change and to twiddle in order to get a better feature. That is the solution that should be there in the end. But that takes a lot of steps that are belowing that. Next one slide, please. So do you have to build everything on your own, or is it not more feasible to buy something or be part of an ecosystem? Let's take a look. That's just as an example of when you want to live somewhere. In the end, you have to choose. You could do everything on your own. So that's the cabin in the woods. You go into the woods. You take care about the reachability, about some kind of lighting, food and water procurement. So you have a lot of stuff to do. Then you're responsible for the security. So if the bear comes around, that's your problem. The maintenance and everything else, it's all up to you. And once you have solved that problem, then you can think about building your house and what the interior should look like. And still, after you've built that, all the stuff like reachability, food, security is still on your topic. It makes sense for some part, but you really have to think where this is needed and where not. If you want to have and concentrate more on your unique selling points, you go more to the right. So let's take a look. Built in the city. So you take something where the reachability and the base services are already done by someone else. And of course, you pay him money for that he takes care about food and water procurement, about general non-functional requirements, which you think of. Still, for your solution, when you build in the city, you're responsible for your security up to a certain point. Then you can start building and taking care. If you want to have an easy entry and a fast entry, and also not be responsible for a lot of things, you go into a gated community, for example. So there someone else takes care about the general stuff up until maintenance, security. So you just need to build there and take care about how you want to live. And if you don't want to take care at all, you just go there and buy a furnished department. So everything is there. You just need to take a look if that really fits to what you want to have. In the end, it's really thinking about where is your unique selling point? Is it really that you are the best in protecting someone from bears, or is it the solution that you want to build in the end? We took care, and we want to take care about that platform as a service. Next slide, please. So in the end, and that is to be understood, there are a lot of different layers when we talk about the service part. Meanwhile, everything is there as a service. So starting from the, of course, known stuff like infrastructure. So that's the cloud infrastructure, AWS, Azure, Google, and of course at Bosch we have our own private cloud hosted by our CI. On top of that, that's where that platform and integration platform as a service takes care. So it depends how high you want to go. There are a lot of service providers which offer you, for example, that you can easily get access to the named infrastructure provider and easily get the storage part or other things there. That's where we want to put that domain-specific platform as a service. And that's where we started 2017 with the industrialization of a VM as a service platform. So this is up and running for multi-party development. So this enabled Bosch and non-Bosch guys to work together with a defined process, method, and tools. They're running on VMs because we have a lot of old tools which are not containerizable. So there's a lot of different stuff that's already available. In 2020, we decided that we want to go the bigger step. So that's where we started our Top 99 project, now taking what we had as VM as a service platform and now going into the whole platform as a service. So we want to offer the base services, the on-demand services, so more of that, and the possibility to bring your own service to such kind of platform. And then allow others to develop their applications, their features, which they in the end want to offer somewhere. Next slide, please. So how does it look like? So we go as everything as code. So in the end, we thought about also making our vision as code pretty clear. So in order to develop great software, the developer needs a precondition, and that's the hassle-free development. So he can import the platform from Top 99. That is a possibility. That's not a must. So of course, as said before, the developer and then the project can decide on its own which part of the platform he wants to import. So we would be responsible setting up the development environment with your favorite tools, fulfilling the processes, mostly automated, up to a real serious release of the workflow to enable the developer to really develop code. So we are not the one who do or does the feature. We are the one who enable the feature development. We're also there to catch certain problems. So in the end, if the bootstrapping is not working, if the workflow is not completely orchestrated, there will be someone you can call and someone who at least takes care of the problem and take a look where the problem is. Next step, please. So that's our big picture, as we call it. So there are on the top all the different use cases that we want to enable, starting from really fast reacting support and most important, enabling collaboration with external partners with a single click, built-in quality up to series release, and offering that also, of course, to someone who already has a service which you want to offer in a kind of marketplace, up to someone else has already a part of a platform which you want to offer or bring into the solution. So who would be our customers? The PMT developers, so those who are responsible for process, method, and tools, and of course the software developer and the self-empowered team itself. And as we are want to build up that as an ecosystem, we are of course not the one who develops all those parts. That's the less of all. So we integrate and we work with GitHub. We work with a lot of other tools and processes that are there. we use White Source or any other tools that are available in order to help building that platform. We work together with a lot of development companies, which also in the end want to offer their services on that kind of platform. We have customers which want to offer their features, be it just also their better tooling or develop features in the end to Bosch and also to other entities. So we are currently working on that big picture and getting the first services really live. That's what we are currently aiming for, and we're already always looking on different opinions, different opportunities to work together, because I'm pretty sure no one will get that done alone, and no one will really be the master of that stuff. So it must be an ecosystem where everyone can participate and has some advantages on that. Next slide, please. And I think that would be the last one. Yeah, so that was my quick walkthrough with some problems on the internet. Thanks for listening. So you can contact me on LinkedIn or by mail anytime, and looking forward to your questions.